feeling very Irish in Philadelphia today as the St. Patrick's Day Parade is going down the streets of Philadelphia, and the Air Express is shipping drunk kids all around from bar to bar in Old City. And Dropkick Murphys play tonight at the Electric Factory. Ken Casey, nice enough to join us for a couple minutes here. Hello, sir. How are you?
Good. How you doing? Good to be here.
Good. Did you partake in the St. Patrick's Day Parade today?
We did. We walked the whole thing, start to finish. It was a lovely, nice day. The rain held off, and it's great to be invited to a parade in someone else's city. It was nice. It was an honor.
Yeah. How was it? You get to reach out and touch some of the people on the parkway there today?
Yeah. Most of the kids seemed to be afraid of us. They didn't want to high five us. We were just saying that. I don't know what it is. They kept, but no, it was cool. We got to see a lot of people and see some parts of Philly I never saw, and ended right there by the Rocky Steps and took the stupid tourist photo.
Right. Did you go arms up in the air?
You know it. Come on.
Tonight at Electric Factory, it is Dropkick Murphys, and beyond just the music, you personally and the foundation, the Claudia Fund, have had an imprint on Philadelphia. I know it's something that started in Boston, then a couple of years ago you opened up a Philadelphia chapter of it, and I wanted to talk a little bit about what that is for people that don't know, and your involvement with Philadelphia and why it came to Philadelphia even in the first place.
We had always had some... felt a connection to Philly and had some good friends down here, and we got the foundation rolling back up at home and said, it'd be nice to, because like the band's fans are very incorporated in what we do to raise money, and it's going great in Boston, and people in other cities would be like, we'd like to help down here, and you're like, well, you would, all right, and Philly was where we got the most feedback of that. And one night I was on stage here, and that day a bunch of people had said it to me, and I got on stage and I said, I want to announce that this is, they just said it off the cuff, because I was inspired by the reaction we were getting from the people of Philadelphia. And they're just like Boston people, good people like to help their own, and
right.
we like that. So we were like, if we can help spearhead something down here, it would be awesome. And we've been doing great down here, golf tournaments and events related to the band and other little things. And, I feel pretty proud of the fact that we've been able to get this going in a city that's not our own, Because you have to call on more the resources and help of other people, and the people here on our board and the band's fans have just been phenomenal in the hard work they do.
I think one of the cool things about Claudia Fund is that it's not necessarily, hey, we benefit this big giant charity or we're helping out in this thing. It's really, Philadelphia is such a patchwork of neighborhoods and different causes and different things, and it's all, you support all these little things that are within the city and that are important to the fabric of the city rather than some big mission statement.
Well, one of our, our mission statement is very broad in the sense that we try to help causes that are supporting veterans, children's, and substance abuse related charities, and we also try to find people that are just underfunded, that it's really hands-on, not big corporate structure, and we it's from the people to the people, and cut out the big middleman that's making a huge paycheck, which I'm not knocking that. I mean, if you're running something that's that massive that needs to be, but I think the nature of what we do is more of a volunteer, more of a grassroots, straight giving back type of thing that we're looking for, and stay small and give it to the other small guys that are just it's nice when you see people that are just like really taking the benefits they receive and going out right and doing good work on the street. And anytime you can support someone that's willing to, this is the more than anything, anybody can give money, and that's so appreciated, but when someone's willing to give their time, it's like that really motivates me.
What's the whole process taught you about Philadelphia in the time since you've expanded the charity to here? It's been like 5 years now. Have you learned anything about the city, or does it remind you in Boston more than it did before in any way?
You know what it reminds me of? And in my travels in general, a lot of times you realize we're all so much more the same than we are different. Yeah. People might have different accents and different sports teams, but we all bleed red, and we all feel the same pain and go through the same struggles, and yeah, it's definitely bonded me more to Philly and made me feel that Philly is definitely more like Boston than I even ever thought it was,
20 years of Dropkick Murphys celebrating on this tour, this run. How's that felt to have everybody come out and, celebrating a giant milestone like that? I'm sure it gives you pause to kind of look back at everything and see what you guys have done.
Well, before we go on, we play this little 10-minute movie that's kind of like a highlight of the band's career. And I don't know, it gets me every night. I'm, just because it brings back so many memories. And being in a band is oftentimes so go, 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 go. You leave every night for the next city. You're on tour promoting one album and trying to write the next. And it's hard to stop and smell the roses, so to speak. And when I say that, I don't mean we don't haven't stopped to appreciate what we do, but you don't really have time to, I guess, reflect and look back. And so this tour's all been about kind of thinking of that. So we even just find ourselves reminiscing about old stories that have happened during the band, and just it definitely has a very different feel for us to come out. And more than anything, the tour is about saying thank you to the fans, because they've been unbelievable. They never wavered. A lot of bands, when they're around 2 decades, maybe there's an album that dipped, maybe they went away for a while. We've toured consistently for 20 years, and it's been on a slow but consistent incline, not decline, not it hasn't flattened out. It's just they just continue to amaze me at how loyal they are, and they still want new music. A lot of times when a band gets 20 years, they're like, yeah, just play the first record. We don't want to hear anything else. They still buy new records, and they want to hear new music. And that's more than any band could ever. If you took a poll of what would, any successful band, they don't want to just have to go out and play, be stuck into something. The fact that the fans listen to everything they do is pretty awesome,
Talking with Ken Casey, Dropkick Murphys tonight at Electric Factory. Speaking of the music and the 20 years of it, I read something about you following AC/DC and how that's a band that you wanted to emulate in some ways, and you didn't want to chase trends. You didn't want to come out with a Dropkick Murphys album that sounded like Fall Out Boy. Do you think that's part of it, is that there's a certain expectation to that music? Yes, you guys are challenging yourself each time out, but I'm not going to get shocked when I plug an album in.
Yeah, I mean, you've built a brand, people like it, just because you're an artist, right? And, I'm doing the quote sign when I say artist, which means I take that lightly. If you want to do something completely different, go have a side band. Don't take your fans for that ride with you. And a lot of the bands that I grew up listening to, early Boston hardcore bands that went from heavy hardcore, all of a sudden they tried to become metal. Hardcore and metal mix now more, but I'm talking about back when it was hardcore and then there was metal, and all of a sudden your favorite band changes, or when my favorite British punk bands of the late 70s, all of a sudden or the early 80s, all of a sudden Duran Duran came around, and all of a sudden my favorite band decides to add a synthesizer, you know what I mean? Which makes me want to jump off a bridge, So I've been hurt by my favorite bands, and I think that, but having said that, we're very lucky in the fact that since our very first record, although it's still the same thing, we've had ballads to super fast songs, to things in the middle, to an Irish jig, to a straight up punk rock song. So we get a little more room to vary in the mold that we created than maybe an AC/DC does, But the moral of that statement, when we make the AC/DC comparison, is don't throw your fans for a loop, you know what I mean? And no one gives you, might I say, while we're on the subject of AC/DC, the horrible news about Brian Johnson not being able to tour. They did a poll of who should replace him to finish the last 10 shows that they had to cancel. And in the main newspaper in Australia, in Sydney, our own singer Al Barr is leading the poll.
Is he really?
Yeah, I think he's at 25% or something. No one else is even close.
Would you put Dropkick on hold for a little bit if you wanted to go play around with AC/DC for a spell?
Absolutely. I'd be with him. I'd make sure I was his tour manager. I'd be like, I know that guy.
Right.
Absolutely.
Well, tonight at Electric Factory it is Dropkick Murphys, and then Claude Fund is claudefund.org, and you can keep up to date, and there's events and things that go on throughout the year that people can get involved with and help out.
Absolutely. We're always looking for people to get involved, so thank you for your interest. Thank you for talking to me today, and we love Philadelphia.
Thanks so much, man. Have a great show tonight.
Thank you.